How are we doing, guys? Dave from Wild Geese. The last two videos we filmed showed you both our warm-up mobility sequence and the yoga-ish stretching sequence that we use. But a question I get asked quite a lot is, why don't we do more sort of static stretching? You know, you get into a position, you hold it for a length of time. And we're constantly getting new people coming in. They come in, they start doing their own warm-up, and inevitably, sort of the majority of them, just the first thing they do is just drop into a static stretch, and they think they're warming up. What I hope to do now is explain why we don't do it using this bit of Blu Tack. All right, we call this the Blu Tack Speech. A while ago, a friend of mine, a guy called Tony Walsh, he has a clinic on Bagger Street, which is just a few roads away from here. He does rolfing. Now, rolfing is a style of physiotherapy, but what Ida Rolf, the founder of rolfing, did was she looked at the body as a whole, as a holistic unit, and they started looking particularly at the connective tissue, the fascia, they call it the fascial network, which is like a bag, a web. And by looking at that instead of just the muscles and the bones, you can see how the whole body is interconnected. Each individual muscle fibre is surrounded by a sheath of fascia. Each bundle of muscle fibres is surrounded by a sheath of fascia. All these join together at the end of the muscle into the tendons and the ligaments, which join onto the bones or onto other muscles. And the whole thing then is connected. So your body is not made of individual parts, it is a whole unit. And if you read an excellent book called Anatomy Trains, what's your man's name? Myers, I think it is, Thomas Myers. It's a fantastic book. He actually shows you all the lines of fascia, or his version of these lines of fascia, and there's a few different opinions. Tony has his own opinions. And it shows you how, you're from your finger all the way up your arm into your pec minor, all the way down into the frontal line, he calls it. How it's all connected, and how an adhesion in one place affects something else. Now, if you consider the fascia and the fascial network, when you're warming up, you really want to get this moving, because a tightness in one area, an adhesion down in one area, is going to have an effect elsewhere. Quite often, if you've got a pain in the lower hip, in the left hip, you might feel it in the opposite shoulder. The body being the next sort of shape, you feel it on one side. If the injury is on one side, you might get the result of the injury on the opposite side. Likewise, a tight hip will cause pain in the knee, or it could be the ankle is tight, causing pain in the knee. Where the pain is felt is not always the actual injury site. So what we look at here is stretching the whole fascial network, getting that loose. And it works a bit like this Blu Tack. A bit of Blu Tack, when it's cold, doesn't stretch very far. It breaks very, very easily. Okay? But if you then spend a bit of time and just sort of massage this out, loosen it up, warm it up, just gently stretch it and relax it, and then move it around a little bit, gently stretch it and relax it, okay? Then what we find is it stretches a lot further than it did when it was cold, okay? And there it is, it broke there, all right? So you get the idea that the body is not made of individual parts. It works as a single unit. And what holds it together is this Blu Tack here. You need to get the whole fascial web, everything, warm and loose. It's the reason we do the mobility series. At the beginning we work from the head down, the neck, the shoulders, the elbows, the hips, the knees, the ankles, finishing off with the spine. It's the reason we use our stretch sequence based off the sun salutation, which are big movements, big stretches. What I'm going to show you next, and actually the next video clip from this, is a hip sequence that we use for very commonly. We get people coming in very tight hip flexors. They're IT bands, this and that. They're all real tight, and we find a movement that we're going to show you next, using the same Blu Tack principle, this moving action rather than just holding a stretch, loosens it up nicely. All right. I'm just going to move the camera, get a better view, and I'll show you that next.